Hey guys, Mortgage Mark. You know a telltale sign when you've had a long day? I do. It's when you've done two video recordings. The first one you forgot to push record. The second one you forgot to do the screen share so people can actually see the chart you're referencing. So that's fun. So this is the third take. Good news. We're gonna do it just as energetic as the first two. But actually we got some really good ones. So let me share my screen this time and push record, which I've done. And let me just show you some. Get back to the top. Let me throw up some knowledge on you because this is really good stuff, I think, this week. The boring stuff, look, it's June 3rd. That's great. The week of rates kind of moving sideways. Yeah, they're taking a little higher, but what I find interesting here is that you're going to see we kind of have this convergence and we're trapped in between two moving averages. It's going to be interesting because if we break below this, there's going to be room to drift lower for rates. That's just kind of the technical signals. It's not guaranteed, but it is interesting how it happens on a very regular basis. Pending home sales, they're down. Makes sense. We were trapped at home. We couldn't go buy new homes. I get it. But here's the good news. Check this out. Even being stuck at home and all this, the actual homes sold right now, we're having the third best year in a decade. And the only 2 years that beat us were the last 2 years, which were great years. And we're not even that far off. So I thought that was interesting. So it is a great time to sell a home. It is a great time to buy. That's your housing update. For COVID, we're still increasing globally with cases. No bueno. But here's what I thought was interesting in the apartment of the aha moment. South America, they're starting to see an increase in cases. And it kind of makes sense because our summer, what we're coming into summer is that, weather gets warmer. They're obviously going into winter. So what I'm really curious is to see if they're going to be some type of a canary for us to see what our coal mine's going to look like at the end of this year. So as weather gets colder and flu season pops its ugly head up, we don't have enough testing to know if it's COVID or flu. Who knows what's going to happen? So I'm going to be really curious to see just what happens in some of the southern hemisphere over the next couple of months to see if that's going to be some indicator for us. But let's stay positive. Look at Texas. We're in the green. Give yourself a pat on the back. Way to observe social distances. We're doing something great. COVID cases are declining. That's awesome. Good for us. I still stand by the fact we should all move to Montana. There's nothing going on there. COVID's like geographically illiterate. It has no idea where Montana is, and there's no COVID. The Fed's spending a lot of money. That's a chart. It sucks, but there were more bankruptcies, company bankruptcies here in the start of 2020 compared to like 2009, and it's getting close. And I have a feeling it's going to continue. So no bueno, because that means a lot of people could be out of jobs. A lot of companies could be going away. But on the plus side, if you want to take some plus side away from this, check this out. This is our personal savings. Check out the last 15 years percentage of your disposable income that you're going to save. In the last 15 years, I would say that's an average of about 6 or 7%. Check this out, team. Way to go. We are now saving a third of our income. I get it. You're trapped and you can't go to restaurants, but at some point you got to ask yourself, how much were we spending on booze and going out and movies and whatever else? It was a lot, apparently. Even trapped at home buying a lot of Amazon stuff, we're still saving a third of our income. And that's awesome. I do have a feeling some of it's because people are worried about the unknown and they should be saving. Good for them. But I hope we learn some lessons and maybe we see this average tick up over time because more savings typically means more good things for people in general. This one I thought was really interesting. The difference between consumer sentiment, meaning how good we feel and how good we think the economy is doing, and the stock market. This graph calculates that difference. Stock market's doing really well. I'm feeling really good. There's probably a small gap. That's a small number here. Stock market stinks. My 401k gets hit. I'm in a grumpy mood. There's going to be a small difference. Check out this difference in 2020. This is the biggest gap in literally 3 decades. No, 4 decades. Good night. 4 decades. Check out this gap as far as the difference between how consumers feel, like kind of scared, worried about their job, tens of millions of Americans losing their jobs, just everything's going on in the economy, and yet the stock market's doing great for the last 2 months. It's only off like 6 or 7% from like the highs that it was once at the beginning of this year. So it's pretty crazy and remarkable that consumers think meh, and yet you got all this, the stock market's just raging. So I thought that was interesting. Look, once a month, team, if you haven't joined us, and you probably haven't, we'd like to see more folks if you join us if you'd like, not forcing you to by any means. But once a month, I get with my immediate team, and we get together and we talk, we discuss a topic. The idea is it to be expand your mind, your horizons, educate you, and just make you be personally accountable for your own personal finances. So earlier we talked about savings, a third of disposable income is now being saved on average. That's awesome. But we want to encourage that and work on budgets, work on finances, and overall just financial health. So last month we had an estate attorney come in and talk about wills, power of attorneys, things like that. And it's actually really captivating. I know it sounds boring, but it was really cool. And this month we got Miss Elizabeth coming in just to talk to about life insurance, about the different kinds, pros and cons, things of that nature that you might have. So even if you have it, or you're like, I don't need it, I'd highly recommend you can do this. You can come in on Zoom, be a fly on the wall, push mute. We won't call on you. Don't worry. Unless you want to participate, you're welcome to. But mortgagemark.com/events. Mortgagemark.com/events. You can register for the Money Matters meeting. Highly recommend it. You should show up every month. I don't think we've ever really had a dud. They've all been better than even I expected. I thought this was fun. I'm going to Florida later this year. Check out the bookings. Florida and Georgia open first, and off to the races. It's the only place you could go. Check out those bookings that have happened with Florida. This one, look, this one's just funny. It's blurry for me too. Don't worry. But 42% of people don't miss socializing with their coworkers. That's like 60% of the people, that only like talking to you, basically. I'm sorry, this is 40%, 42% of people do miss it. That means 60% of people don't miss you. They're working from home and they don't miss you. The other thing, 27% say they're working more. Cool, I get it, less commute time, and you gotta get caught up. But of that, 71% of people don't feel like they have to prove they're working. I don't know about you, but my employees are doing a great job, and they're like, hey, man, hey, boss, we're doing X, Y, and Z. We're super productive because they like working from home. I'm not saying it's going to be exclusive that way, but what a cool thing to just kind of be like, hey, we're doing this, and show the enthusiasm and show your boss. Nah, 71 like, whatever. I'm working, not working. I don't have to prove it. And then lastly, 72% say they're not even checking in with their team more. So 58% of them don't even like miss you, and then 72% aren't even checking on you. That's crazy. By the way, Texas is one of the bad states for nursing homes. That stinks. Wish we were better. Just saw that chart, thought I'd share. But hey, USA on this one, right? We are a spacefaring nation all of a sudden. Kudos to Elon Musk, to NASA, SpaceX. That was a cool launch. Look at the background. That's a cool picture. So USA, right? So long story short, team, really appreciate you guys. As always, just checking us out. Hopefully I don't bore you too much. I just find this stuff interesting. Hope all is well in your world. Stay safe, and we will see you next week.